just incredible. Two. DJ Sour Milk.
One. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Yeah. LA Leakers, just incredible. Sour Milk.
That's right.
Very, 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 very special guest.
Yeah, man.
A boss. A real boss, man.
In here.
Jay Prince is here. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. We know the history, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Of course, anytime, man. You got a book that's out. What made you want to put out a book?
Oh man, I believe readers are leaders, and I wanted to lead by example by putting out, my story, my book, sharing my formula, my wisdom, my knowledge, my understanding to the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah. The art and science of respect. And having followed, your journey and watching some of your recent interviews, it makes sense that that's the title. But how did you come up with that title for your book like that?
Well, the art part of it is, one's creativity, one vision, they dream of, what they're trying to accomplish, and the science is the ingredients, the knowledge that it takes to accomplish the art.
Yeah.
And, when the two is intertwined and you accomplish whatever that vision may be, you don't want to have to respect it. So, that's my creative way of gaining respect throughout my journey.
Yeah. That's true, man. People got to understand there's a certain way you gotta move. There's ethics and morals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that can't be taught, but it's books like this, you know what I'm saying, and leaders like yourself that really show young cast the way and how to do it.
Yeah.
And I commend you on that.
Thank you, bro.
How long did it take you to put the book together?
I started on it in 2014.
Okay.
And I took my time. I could have finished, earlier, but I took my time, and when I felt it was right, I'm like, all right, let's roll.
Let's do it.
That's dope.
Is it tough to start memorizing some of these things, man? Because these are the way you depicted the stories in this book is amazing.
Thank you.
There's
man.
so many memories, right?
Yeah. No, it I lived all of this.
Yeah.
So when I in retrospect, when I went back and thought about everything, it didn't come to me at once. So I had to document it piece by piece and pull pictures and different things, and eventually.
Is there stuff that you remembered after the book was already out? You're like, damn it, I forgot to put that in the book.
Yeah, it has been some things I forgot. Yeah.
Anything you want to share?
It's gonna make the movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got the movie coming out?
For sure. The movie, some strong documentary or something.
Yeah.
You've had your hands in a lot over the years. Obviously music being a big part of your career. What was the first artist that you heard that made you want to get into the music industry?
My brother.
Okay.
My brother was Sir Rap a lot, so I named the company after him. And it was a method that I used to keep him out of the streets. I didn't want to see my brother in the streets, so I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna pay for your studio time. You do this that you like to do all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. That's crazy.
And when it came to signing artists and discovering people, what were you looking for at that time? What was standing out, in a group like Ghetto Boys? What were you seeing that was oh, they're stars?
Well, back in the beginning, I was relying on other people. I came up with the name, the Ghetto Boys, because I wanted to be a voice for ghettos all around the world. That was the plan. But, with the members and running the company in the beginning, I left that into another friend of mine's hands. And eventually, with my last piece of money, is when I changed everything around.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And how, in your opinion, what's changed with the music industry from back then to how it is now, and how have you been able to adapt and stay relevant?
I mean, the biggest thing is social media. You know what I mean? Whereas it took me, a half a year to do some things. You can do it at a punch of a button right
real.
now. So I mean, that's day and night, and to be able to adjust and have access to that kind of power, I would have known what to do with it back then and now.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just adjusting to the up-to-date situations.
Yeah,
That's
man.
dope.
For people who are just checking in that might not know some of the history, I mean, you've had your hands on a lot of classic moments. But who are some of the artists, you know what I'm saying, that kind of came up under your umbrella, under your wing?
The Ghetto Boys, Big Mike, Devin the Dude, work with Pimp C, Bun B, the Mike Jones, Pow Wow was, you know what I mean? I was partners on that situation. The list goes on and on. I probably forgot some.
Yeah. So for us out here, those artists represented a window of H-Town that, like, unless we traveled there, we couldn't see. And before social media, we really had to listen to a CD to kind of get a glimpse at that. How did you feel about, I seen a picture of Dr. Dre in the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how did the West Coast inspire or influence what you was doing?
Well, the West Coast had a movement going, with the NWA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, I think we was a little bit before them, but they was definitely kicking, the hardcore music, which is what we were doing, and the East Coast hadn't really got on to that yet. At least it wasn't acceptable. We were getting booed when we went and done a song like Let a Hoe Be a Hoe and stuff like that in the East Coast. So the West Coast, we was able to identify with one another, before all the other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, it's
That's
crazy.
wild, man. A lot of history.
Lot of history.
One of the artists you forgot to mention is Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, arguably the biggest artist in the world.
seriously.
Not just hip hop artist, the biggest artist in the world, man. Which says a lot about you, man, and your son, obviously, who put you on to him. What was your first thought when you first heard Drake music?
Well, my son, I give Jazz Prince, all the credit where Drake is concerned, because my first impression was, I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Drake was singing and harmonizing, and I wasn't used to that. I'm used to like hardcore gangster.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he was coming with a whole new swagger, and I tried to discourage my son. I'm like, hey, man, you like this thing?
Yeah.
And he like, trust me on this one, Dad. This is the new sound. So he was up on Drake before I caught up.
Man, that's so crazy, man.
That's a crazy story.
And now seven sold out shows in LA.
Yeah.
Biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
Biggest artist in the world.
And we also involved with YBN, Amir, and
crazy.
Almighty J and Cardi.
Yeah.
Those are good
that's-
young kids, man.
Yeah, my son Jay Prince here with the New Wave. We discovered that and
Okay.
partners with that situation as well.
That's
They're
super
extremely
dope, man.
talented. We've had them on our show
Yeah,
a
the
couple
future.
times, man. Yeah, definitely the future. This has been an interesting year, and like I said earlier, we've had a chance to see, read the book, The Art and Science of Respect, available right now everywhere.
Yeah.
We watched your interviews and had a chance to learn a lot about you. I think we learned a lot more during, the Drake Pusha T situation.
Yeah.
And for a second there, you were like the voice, like I want to say the voice of reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you kind of had taken a stance where you had said we're gonna get out of this a little bit. This ain't for us. I forget the exact term you used.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the thought process in that.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of them situations. This is something I saw before,
Right.
And when I witnessed it before, it was a situation that, can go from 0 to 100 like real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with me, hearing all the different things that's taking place and knowing the possibilities of it going there, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a guy with some sense.
Of course, yeah. There needs to be a voice of reason.
You know what I mean? So at that point, I'm like, okay, let me unplug this situation because ain't nothing good gonna come of this.
Yeah,
You
it
know
felt
what I mean?
like that.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like the energy was just going to stick to just records there.
No, it was finna go somewhere fast.
And you know, as of late, I feel like Drake has been making amends with a lot of artists that he's had, you know, disagreements with in the past. Do you think him and Pusha is something that could you know, be fixed, or is that?
Well, I believe all things are possible. You know what I mean? Just like every wound, you know what I mean? It take time, you know. A lot of people wouldn't have thought him and Meek Mill would be on the stage.
Yeah,
together,
exactly.
But time, you know, heals wounds, so it's possible.
He was actually on LeBron's show, the Shop, which I thought was really dope. Thought, you know, he handled himself extremely well, as he always does, and he was vocal and honest about how that situation made him feel.
Yeah.
And one thing that he mentioned was just that, you know, that there's rules to battle rap, and I think that you know, his take on it, I respect 100%. But I wanted to know what your thought was, being that you have seen, you know, you mentioned NWA earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've seen battle rap from time to time throughout the years. What's your thought on that stance?
Well, I think that you can cross the lines of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, where different things are concerned. You know, I believe life and death is in the tongue. You know what I mean? You can speak some things and live, and speak some things and do the opposite of living.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and with that being true, then you would want it to be some rules, but that's a matter of choice. You know what I mean? And we all, you know, get a chance and a choice every day we wake up.
Yeah. People live it differently.
Yeah,
They define
I mean,
it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
But that goes back to this right here, the art and science of respect.
Yeah.
And so did Kanye reach out to you to try to, you know, squash everything?
Yeah. Kanye reached out to me and let me know that he was a family man.
Yeah.
And, you know, he didn't really want no confusion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I saw on an interview earlier that you had mentioned that you would actually go to the White House. You would actually step in there and have a conversation with Trump.
Yeah.
What are some things you would discuss? And while some people are like, hell no, we ain't doing that, I did respect exactly what you said.
Yeah.
But what's kind of your thought? I think it's important for people to hear that.
Yeah, well, I love the conversation that Kanye had, the piece of the conversation where Larry Hoover was concerned. So a part of my conversation, I would love to have that conversation with Trump to express to him how, you know, I feel, you know, drug charges is overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The amount of time and the livelihood that they taking from individuals in these crimes that's, you know, nonviolent crimes. People getting all that crazy time for nonviolent times. You know, I think the heart of it is racism is attached to it, and that's the kind of conversation I would like to have with him.
We mentioned you know, Kanye going to the White House, and there's a lot of negativity, you know, I would say on social media about Kanye right now for the stance, you know, him standing beside Trump and really rallying for him. Do you think there's a way for Kanye to gain people's trust back? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like he betrayed, you know what I'm saying? More than anything, I think the black community.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a way for him to get that trust back?
Yeah, I think it's a way, you know what I mean? And let's go back to his roots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he's headed back to Chicago, and it's about, you know, who embrace him and who reground him.
Yeah.
That's
you know
important.
What I mean? Yeah, he needs to be regrounded.
It's important.
Yeah, he can come back.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to give too much of your history away because, you know,
They need to
people
get that
could,
book.
people could read all about it. The book is out right now, The Art and Science of Respect, by Jay Prince.
Yes.
And you know, again, man, a legend.
Yeah, the history is.
We appreciate you coming up here.
Is there a certain chapter, a specific chapter that you feel like, man, y'all gotta definitely soak that chapter in?
Yeah. For all the homies that's in bondage, y'all need to read the transition from corporate America from the streets to corporate America. And I did that in a chapter called The Closet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I went in the closet and I changed my life and I never looked back. And there's so many homies that's in bondage, you know, with different things of life. And that'll be an interesting chapter to read to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Just as a fan, who are some of your favorite producers, man?
Dr. Dre is probably at the top of the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
legend.
I think he's a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Dre was a genius, and yeah, I mean, it speak for itself.
Yeah.
Man, start Rootless, go to Aftermath, go to Death Row, and
Crazy.
all around Dre.
Yeah, man. When you say, you know, Dre and musical geniuses like that, I think when you get some downtime, I know you're a busy man, but I think you'll enjoy that documentary for sure.
Speaking on music again real quick, has there ever been an artist you know, that was brought to you that you had the opportunity to sign that you passed on that ended up blowing
That's
up?
a good question.
Yeah, I didn't pass on him. I passed him over to my partner to sign him. Vanilla Ice. You know, I had Vanilla Ice, man.
Really?
Yeah, Vanilla Ice, man. I heard it. I knew. At least I believed it would pop. And when I heard it on the radio, I got excited because I thought I had it. I told my partner to sign him, and he didn't do it. He didn't like it.
Oh, that's a big check.
That's crazy.
That's a big check.
Yo, how does that even come across your desk or your radar? Do you remember how?
I saw him in a club one night. He was in a club called the Rhinestone, and I watched him perform. Then I took him to the studio afterwards. He stayed in my studio for like a week or better.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I heard that song, Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, this dude gonna do something. So I told my partner, I say, sign Vanilla Ice. I want him. Didn't do it.
He didn't see it at that moment.
Didn't do it.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Wow.
Bro, I'd be sick.
Yo. Jay, it's great to have you up here with us,
Hey,
man.
good to
Thank
meet
you for
Yo,
sharing that
and
game
it's
with
pleasure
us,
meeting you, man.
Is there audio book on this as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, audio book narrated by me.
I heard some
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I need to get that because I start reading books and then, you know, I'm so lazy and I just get sidetracked. So
And here in LA, it's good when you're stuck in traffic.
Exactly.
You just throw on the audio book.
Yeah.
No matter how you do it, it's a must read or a must listen. Jay, thank you very much for coming up tonight, man.
Oh, good.
It's the LA Leakers.
Yeah.
Jay Creddy, Sour Milk on Power 106.